This is arguably the most uncomfortable mental toughness lesson. But that said, it is absolutely rooted in fact. And here it is. Statistics almost never lie. Statistics tell the truth because they're unemotional. They're based on research. They're based on data. So if you're a great performer, if you were a great student, a great business person, you were disciplined as an athlete, you're disciplined as in your personal life, odds are you will continue to excel in life. On the other hand, if you've struggled in life, if you've always been a lower performer or an average performer, odds are you will continue to be a lower or average performer your entire life. This is not a judgment. It's based on statistics. Okay, so if a child, for example, in second grade gets C's and D's, statistics show overwhelmingly that most of those kids will continue to get C's and D's their entire academic career. And the same on the other end of the spectrum. If a child gets straight A's in second grade, odds are they'll get straight A's all the way through college. Now, do anomalies exist? Yes. Do people go from C's and D's to straight A's? Yes. It does happen, and it is possible. And that's, of course, where the personal development world loves to bathe in, including myself, to say, hey, guess what? Sometimes Rocky Balboa wins the world championship. He comes out of nowhere. It's not just a movie. Most of the time it's a movie, but once in a while, someone comes from nowhere and goes from failing to success. Anomalies exist. It does happen. But overwhelmingly speaking, statistics show that it won't. Why? What's the point of this? Okay, am I trying to depress you? Okay, whatever level you're at is probably the level you've been at your entire life, and same for me, and same for pretty much everybody else. Okay, again, is it possible to break out of the shell, break out of years and years and years of habits? Yes, it usually doesn't happen, but it is possible. So, for example, for 25 years, I've been teaching mental toughness to sales teams of giant corporations like Caterpillar and Johnson & Johnson and Procter & Gamble and Microsoft and different companies, Ingersoll Rand and all these different companies. And we deliver this message right off the bat and say, look, if you have a mid-performing team and you want to turn that into a top-performing team, you're probably, according to Jack Welch and our statistics as well, you're most likely going to have to get new players. Because typically, average performers do not become top performers. It is possible. It just usually doesn't happen. The New York Yankees might be the greatest example. George Steinbrenner has said it for years. Most of the coaches over the years have said, why are the Yankees the most successful baseball team of all time in Major League Baseball history? Is it because they have such a great training program? No. They admit this. It's not. It's because they spend the money, more money than any other team, to get A players, world-class players. Because B players typically never become A players. C players don't become B players. It is possible, okay? But it's statistically speaking, it doesn't happen. Okay, now on an individual level, what's my message here? Okay, so there's a macro level, like when we work with big sales teams and we do turnarounds for mid-performing teams and low-performing teams, and we come in typically and 20% of the people have to get fired. Because you're not going to take a low performer and turn them into a high performer. It is almost impossible. Not impossible. It does happen. That's why personal development is such a beautiful thing. And I believe in it. I'm the president of the International Personal Development Association. Okay. I believe in hope and I believe in change and I believe people can do better, right? We can all be better. It just almost never happens. But it is possible. There are people that come from nowhere, like Rocky, in the movie, and become world champion. It's usually in a movie, but it is possible for sure. Okay, so on the micro level, the personal level, what's the point? If you're broke right now, let's say, and you want to be financially independent, understand that odds are against you. The odds are totally stacked against you because whatever habits you've had in the past have not worked financially. Now, maybe you're great in other areas, but maybe money's just not your thing, or saving's not your thing, investing's not your thing, whatever it is. We all have our strengths and weaknesses, right? So it's not an indictment on you personally. It could be anything. But just understand that odds are, if you're broke now, you will be broke your whole life. If you're rich now, you'll probably be rich your whole life. Doesn't mean it can't change. Doesn't mean there's not hope. Doesn't mean if you change your habits, You can't change your life, because you absolutely can. I wouldn't be running the Personal Development Association if I didn't believe that. What I'm saying is, statistically speaking, the odds are highly against it. Stacked. Do anomalies exist? Yes. Do people sometimes break through and come out of nowhere like Rocky Balboa in the movie and become world champions? Yes, it does happen. Almost never. But it is possible. So there is hope. But just understand that I've been trying, I'll give you an example. I've been playing guitar since I was 10 years old. That's almost 50 years. Okay? And I've said almost every year, this is the year I'm going to really practice. I'm a 3-chord hack. Okay, I'm not a good player. I don't have a lot of talent, but I played for a long time, and I used to play in a little band, and we weren't that good, but I played. But I've been promising myself literally for years and years and years and years that this is the year I'm going to discipline myself to practice more, to play more songs, and do more to become a really good guitar player. I'm never going to be great because I don't have the talent, but I could be solid. I could be really good, and I'm not. And every year, I fail to do the work. So it doesn't mean I couldn't break out in the next year and do it. But odds are I won't. That's all I'm saying. It's not a depressing message to say it's not possible. It just isn't probable. So the purpose of this message, because you think, well, geez, you're kind of depressing me. I want to jump off a bridge. Mental toughness can be like that. It can be because it's based in objective reality, not fantasy, not delusion. It's based on data. And the data says most people never change. They could change. Same as me. I might come out next year, in 10 years, I might be a great guitar player. You might say, hey, you broke out of that bad habit, those bad habits or habits you didn't put in place to be a better guitar player. Good for you. Odds are I won't do it. Those are the statistics. Doesn't mean I can't do it. It means the odds are I won't do it. Why? Because we have 47 years of data that shows I haven't done it in the past, and I'm likely as a human being to repeat my old patterns of the past. So the purpose of the message is a slap in the face to the individual to say, look, if you want to change your life and you're getting a result and you want to change it completely, just understand this is a huge change. Cataclysmic. Okay, it's a huge change. You're going to have to make major changes in your psychology to get these results you've never gotten before. It is possible, and go for it, and I believe you can do it, but odds are you won't. Because odds are most of us don't. We don't ever do it. That's what the statistics say. It's not an opinion. That's what makes it powerful. This is what statistics say. That, if I could say the word statistics, that's what makes it powerful. That's how we've sold billion-dollar contracts, training contracts to billion-dollar corporations, because we go in with facts. We go in with data, and we say, this is not emotional. We're showing you the data. You have underperforming people. The odds of us or any other training company turning them into high performers is slim to none. Okay, you know what you need to do? You need to hire better performers and then train them for incremental growth and improvement. That's much better, statistically speaking. It's more probable, statistically speaking, than it is to take an average performer and turn them suddenly overnight. Their whole mentality changes and they're a high performer. And Rocky Balboa is champion of the world. Possible, but improbable, and only usually in movies, for the most part. Okay, so I would challenge you on the mental toughness side, and I do the same thing with myself. Look at yourself and say, if I really want to make this change, then I've got to realize the odds are stacked against me, and I'm going to have to be very, very diligent and disciplined to make it happen. Otherwise, I just have to realize that, for me personally, let's say, I'm probably never going to be a great guitar player unless I really make major changes in my psychology and my habits and my discipline around practice and lessons and that kind of thing, which is possible. It just isn't probable. And then I might as well either live with that or make wholesale changes to my approach. And that's the power. This is the power of mental toughness. People don't like to hear it. Organizations, big companies, believe me, they don't like to hear it. But once you get a grip on this, it's life-changing. Because now you're dealing in reality instead of fantasy. And most people are dealing in fantasy. And I've done it myself. It's very easy to do. I still do it sometimes. It's very easy to do. It just doesn't work. So think about statistics. Think about your own life, and if you're working if you're a coach with mental toughness or peak performance or anything like that, consider adding this into your repertoire of coaching subjects, because it's something very few people talk about because it's not popular. People don't like this message, but it is life changing at the end of the day.